Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here. It's time to take a look at another vintage Transformers toy. And we're taking a look at one that many of you have probably already seen out there on the shelves for its new Earthrise form. We're taking a look at the 1989 Communications Bay Ironworks. Ironworks would be released in 1989, and he would only be available that year, being discontinued by 1990. Ironworks is, of course, one of the Micromaster battle stations. They were meant to compete alongside the Micro Machines Pocket City playsets, which was essentially a small playset that folded up. You'd store the car and all the component pieces inside the unit, and you could slip it easily into a pants pocket, and off you go. These things were built with sort of the same idea in mind, although they do not have the portability. But with the ramp out here in front like this, it could be connected to other Micromaster playsets. And thus you could create your own Micromaster City, depending on which of the toys you had. So, all in all, it was kind of a cute concept, but really didn't get exploited very well, due to the fact that a lot of the others required them to be in their large open base modes to be able to combine with these smaller city play sets, these smaller battle station sets. So, the idea kind of got lost in translation. Hopefully, with the new series of them coming out here with Earthrise, that will change. And of course, here, Ironworks is the name of the robot. And of course, for the new Earthrise one, he is a much larger toy because he becomes all this, and the vehicle here is excluded. So, that's a bit of a change, but there was a Micromaster in the Target exclusive pack that had a name similar to Ironworks in there, and that was intended to be a tribute to Ironworks. Ironworks here, of course, is a repaint of the Off-Road Patrol Leader powertrain. These are a repaint, and he also has a sticker at the bottom. For his articulation, it's the same as powertrains. That's as far up as the arm can be raised. Otherwise, it can be lowered up against his body. You can bend his legs at the hip about 90 degrees, and that's pretty much it for the articulation. To transform Ironworks into his truck mode, you simply fold the arms down. You'll rotate the cab here on his back, and then fold up his feet. And then you have a little unidentified, long-nose, sleeper-style semi-truck. Now, he's not going to roll the greatest, because he's got real wheels up front, and he's got real wheels here at the back. This middle set here is fake. And it is a bit on the snug side, but let's take a look. See how well he does roll. Okay, I'm mistaken. He does roll fairly decent. Either that or he's just sliding across my table here. We'll quickly turn him back into the robot here. And set him aside as we bring out the construction yard, so we can have a fairly decent look at it. You see we got a ramp here. The ramp can either be connected over here or over to the side. It's pretty much your choice how you connect the ramps on. It's got a couple of stickers here on the front. I think my brother put these on incorrect, at least one of these on incorrectly, but that was done back in 1989. Can't criticize him too much on that. That's just how it looks, folks. I'm not entirely certain, nor am I really worried about it. I've seen worse in my collection. And of course, we got some molded on details here, like we got what would probably be some I-beams here. We got some barrels. Some sort of slide-looking unit. That looks a little weird, and we probably got a bunch of dirt and gravel piled up over here. And of course, you got foundation of some sort. A steel cage built up above it, and up top we have a crane. The crane hook can be rotated in and around like so, and the unit does rotate. It's pretty much attached to a hole in the roof. Here, as you can see, there is another hole here, so you can pretty much customize it how you want. And of course, we got a lever here on the back of the crane, so you can raise the crane up and down like so. Looks like you have about a 95-degree range of motion with the arms, so that's pretty good. But as you probably figured, since it's a transformer, it does transform as well. To start with, we need to remove all the accessories. So we take off the ramp, we have to remove the crane, and we have to remove the cage. Now, to transform this unit, it's pretty simple. Down here at the bottom of it, you'll see we got a notch here in the front. We just pull that out and fold it on down. Then this whole section here at the side will fold out and upwards, like so. Up here, at this orange area, you can rotate out this large red piece here, and then you would just rotate them out. They got a notch in there where they stop, so you'll feel it when it hits the notch. And of course, we'll take our cage unit, flip it upside down, and we've got two posts here. Just connect them to those holes here. So you have an observation platform. And then, of course, we take the crane. We'll fold the hook all the way back like so. And then we will attach a missile on top of the crane. And then attach it down here at the bottom. And here we have the playset mode. It's a communications bay. Now, when I get around to showing you the new Ironworks, I'm just waiting on an action figure to get released with that set, and then I can review Ironworks for you. He does have a way to be built into this mode. Of course, it lacks the red communications dish, but otherwise it does pay a nice tribute. There is a way to make it into a nice-looking tribute to this toy. And of course, you got some room for your Micromasters to play in. So you can set one of them up here in the observation area, and they can watch what's going on. Or if you want, you can stand him down here, right near the missile launcher, to make it look like he's controlling the launcher. All in all, not a bad set. It certainly could use more to it, but it still isn't bad for what it is. Now let's take a look here at some of the loose parts, if you're going to buy one of these loose. We'll start here with the crane/rocket launcher. As you can see, it's pretty much just a yellow piece of plastic with a red crane hook. And of course, as you can see from the angles here, this crane hook is on very, very, very thin plastic. Now, it's possibly removable, but I will not attempt to do that here, due to the fact, one, this isn't mine, and number two, After nearly 30 years of being out, I'd be afraid I'd break it. So it's kind of a good tip for any of you that buy one. You want to store it instead of having it on display. It would probably be best to keep the hook stored inwards so that it is less likely to be broken. Then, of course, you get one rocket. As you can see, the rocket here has one long slit in the bottom of it. That's how it connects onto the crane. Otherwise, it's not a bad little piece. Then you have what the instructions call the crane staging. It's pretty much a hollow piece of plastic. The top of it has two holes for where you can mount your crane. And of course you get the two posts on the back for mounting it as an observation platform. And it is, of course, done up to be open and open them up in a couple of areas in case you want a MicroMaster hiding inside. And of course, while this looks thin, it is, as you can see here, it's pretty solid plastic. So this won't bend or warp very easily. And then, of course, lastly, you have a dull gray ramp. Unlike some of the other ramps that are available, it does not have any posts or anything on its backside. And there you go. Those are the loose pieces for Ironworks. Before we move on, I should probably point out that you do have a nice open area there in the back. So it's kind of, if you really wanted to, you could easily stand a MicroMaster inside there if you'd like. Plus, of course, you do have this recessed opened area that is open enough that a MicroMaster can stand in there too. But the only other thing you have is this open area in the back, but it's probably too small. Unless you got one of them in their vehicle mode to hide in there. Well, that just kind of shows you do have a fair amount of playability in this play set. Depending on how well you use your imagination. Now, of course, let's take a look at his instruction manual. And take some 2 pages to show you all the parts. And then, of course, a quick shot of how to set up the construction station. And then a quick way to transform the robot. And then, as they call it in here, a radar station. And then they finish it off with the stickers. And the last page tells you to save your robot points and read your tech specs. Speaking of the tech spec, we've got it conveniently right here. It's done it primarily in red to show that he is an Autobot. It even says he's an Autobot. It gives his name as Ironworks, and his function is Communications Bay. His motto is, strong support needs a good foundation. A construction powerhouse, capable of fixing just about anything. converts his construction site to full-service repair bay, equipped with hydraulic lifts, titanium rivet guns, and searing iron forge. In battle mode, his station is armed with surface-to-air proton missile launcher and interstellar laser communicators. So it begs the question, is it a radar station or is it a communications station? I'm not sure even Hasbro knew at the time. At any rate, we take a look at his vital stats. It gives his strength as 3, his intelligence is 7, his speed is 1, his endurance is 7, his rank is 6, his courage is 8, his firepower is 7, and his skill is 9. So he's weak and slow, but otherwise, he's not too bad of a character. Now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Ironworks? Ironworks is certainly an interesting addition to the Transformer lineup. The construction bay you can easily see being used, and as they also did make a set of construction vehicles for the Autobots in the Micromaster line, that also does add to the playability of the playset in general when it's in the regular mode. As you can easily see, the construction patrol hanging out here. The alternate mode here for the station, it's about what you would expect. It has at least a little bit of play value to it. It doesn't have the most, certainly not the best, but it does have a fair amount going for it. You have about enough room for a squad of Micromasters to be here, and that would basically be all you would want, really, to hang around here. You don't need this place to be crawling with them. Ironworks is described in the More Than Meets the Eye guides as being a bit eccentric. As when he found out he was going to be assigned to this outpost, he believed he was going to be able to do all sorts of construction work, until he was disappointed more that Autobot High Command wanted him more to use the base's radar and communications centers to help warn of Decepticon attacks. So while he begrudgingly accepted the assignment, anybody that's been out to visit him has seen that in his off hours, he's built himself a small collection of strange things utilizing the base's construction facilities. So he is a bit of an oddball character, but certainly has the charm that you would expect out of some of the more construction-minded Autobots. And that concludes my review of the 1989 Communications Bay Ironworks. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did like this video, drop me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so you can join our ranks. And don't forget to ring the bell, because God only knows when I'm going to be posting the Earthrise version of Ironworks. Also, share this video with your friends and fellow collectors, and share your thoughts of Ironworks in the comments down below. This is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.